Hey fans, welcome back to the Fanvestor Report, a weekly podcast covering the business of celebrity that fans want in on. I'm your host, Jezlan Moyet, a fellow fan and investor. So let's catch up on the latest for the fans of the world of tech, entertainment, film, and making an impact. Airbnb is opening its doors to Afghan refugees. Robot taxis are way more fun. Fox has its eyes on TMZ. Travis Scott is working on more than another album. And fans and celebs alike are standing up to cancer. Our Fanvestor mission is to create impact and invest with heart. So later in the show, we'll have an in-studio interview with Emmy and Oscar-nominated director Evgeny Afineevsky, whose latest film, Francesco, continues to make headlines worldwide. Big talks are in the news between AT&T's Warner Media and Fox News. Warner Media has been at the forefront of breaking entertainment news with their prized possession, the gossip news site TMZ, which has been reporting from the streets of Hollywood, capturing the latest in celebrity news since the 1960s. The name TMZ started from the saying 30 Mile Zone, which was created by the Hollywood studios who wanted to establish rules for filming in Hollywood. This $43 billion deal was announced in May and may not close until the middle of next year. Meanwhile, the companies are business as usual, selling assets, raising cash, and investing in 5G. One of the most infamous rappers, who also happens to be one of the highest paid, Travis Scott, is teaming up with American independent entertainment company A24. Scott has a reported net worth of $50 million and is rumored to be making a new album due to be released later this year. So in the meantime, his production company, Cactus Jack's Films, inked a deal with A24. They're known for numerous Oscar-winning films like Ex Machina, Room, and The Lighthouse. The news broke as Scott posted an image on Instagram of a script titled Utopia. The film is said to be in line with Scott's new album, the follow-up to the massive hit Astroworld. Stevie Wonder and Common performed together for the 7th Stand Up to Cancer telethon. The star-studded charity event also featured Sofia Vergara, Anthony Anderson, and Tran Ho. Brittany Howard was slated to perform with Matthew McConaughey during the hour-long special. Reese Witherspoon and her media mogul husband Jim Toth are serving as executive producers. More than $600 million has been raised since its founding in 2008. The event was streamed this week on 60-plus U.S. and Canadian broadcast, cable, and streaming outlets, including ABC, CBS, and Fox. Fans can still donate through the phone or through standuptocancer.org website. Fanvestor's mission is to empower fans to invest with heart. So this week, we are featuring a film and a director that has created a major impact by doing just that. Evgeny Afineevsky is an Emmy and Oscar-nominated director and producer who is committed to sharing stories that shed light on the current state, struggle, and heart of humanity. His latest film, Francesco, is a difficult look at Pope Francis during this time of crisis, the global pandemic, and the issues involving economic equality, climate change, the refugee crisis, peace, and religious tolerance. Through his lens, audiences discover lessons from the Holy Father to stop putting labels and frames over people. We're all human beings, after all. The award-winning documentary was released in 2020, and fans can now watch Francesco on Discovery+. Keep it here for our interview with the acclaimed filmmaker and humanitarian Evgeny Afineevsky.
Di coronavirus ci sta dimostrando, abbiamo mancato nel custodire la terra, la nostra casa giardino, l'abbiamo inquinata, l'abbiamo depredata, mettendo in pericolo la nostra stessa vita.
This is a man who's opened his heart to the hearts of all of humanity. This is a man who cries with humanity, who laughs with humanity, who suffers with humanity. This is Pope Francis.
La humanidad vive una crisis que no es solamente económica y financiera, también es ecológica, educativa, moral, humana. I'm convinced that we can make a difference. I'm sure. Pedimos perdón por los abusos sexuales por parte de miembros cualificados de la Iglesia.
Un'altra volta. E per questo, perché tutti siamo fratelli, vogliamo la pace.
Ser la voz, pero no de una manera programática, me sale solo. Y también por mi sangre migrante. Una persona che pensa soltanto in fare muri e non fare ponti non è cristiano.
I think God made him experience what people experience.
Welcome back to the Fanvestor Report. I couldn't be more excited and truly honored to be in the presence of Emmy and Oscar-nominated director Evgeny. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me here.
You know, the world has been buzzing since the premiere of your most recent documentary last year in Rome, making headlines. And the headlines continue. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
What has it truly been like for you in this experience of the pandemic? We know that you're no stranger to adversity or danger, but to make this film in the pandemic, to release it, and now still to be, doing your publicity tour and continuing this mission during this all, what's your journey been like?
I guess pandemic been a curse and a blessing for me. Curse in terms of I think it's a curse for the entire world because the world is struggling. We're all struggling with our social environment because we're lucky that we are vaccinated and we can sit next to each other, still kind of keeping it distance, but still it's different for us than we can hug and kiss and be more close to each other. So I guess it's a curse, and we also lost a lot of people. The death toll was huge, so I guess that's the curse. The blessing, the pandemic helped me to reshape this movie and fulfill, let's say, my 3-year journey with this movie specifically, because it was a 3-year journey in making. And it also helped me to realize that whatever we see in a movie, it's actually what we as humans created. And pandemic is just a red line to kind of summarize this disaster, put us in front of the choice that we need to make today. Either we want to be continuously being victims of our past or be heroes of our future. But we need to make a choice today, what we want to leave behind us in this world. Disasters that we created, actions that caused these disasters, or we will change our approach to the environment, to the social issues. Today we're facing Afghanistan, which is, of course, interreligious issue which caused this war. We're facing Haiti situation where we can see all this climate disaster, reflection of the climate disaster. And we are not paying attention still to that. We are seeing the Rohingya refugees situation, which is another genocide. So again, if we as a human being not stop all what we're doing and reapproach, take different approach to the things and rethink every step we're doing, we will be continued victims of what we already created. But if we will completely redecide or rearrange our actions and start to preserve climate change, start to care about Mother Nature, start to pay attention that we all human beings and we all, no matter our religious beliefs, we are still all the human beings. We are still the same, no matter of the color of the skin, no matter of the beliefs, no matter of sexual orientation. We are all human beings. We are brothers and sisters by the nature. So we need to change our mindset. I think, again, that's what this movie helped me to realize.
So you clearly set out this 3-year journey with a mission to expose humanity to its error in its own ways, also what they didn't know about the Vatican, about the Pope. But what did you learn about yourself and the world specifically in making this film?
I think if you'll take a couple of steps back, because my 2 major previous documentaries were one about Ukrainian Revolution, which proved that people united can achieve anything, and unity is the strongest thing, which we're not having, unfortunately, in this world. United States divided, world divided, EU divided, and in my Ukrainian movie, on my Oscar-nominated movie, Winter on Fire, which is on Netflix, you see definitely that the unity of every social class, young and old, different generations, help them to achieve their goal. So that's what I saw on the streets of Maidan. Then I went directly into Syria, reconstructing the history, what brought us to the refugee crisis. I think I was struggling after the specifically war in Syria that I witnessed with emotions. I saw Syria and Syrian journey as the journey into the dark side of humanity, of our humanity today, But with both of the movies, like Cries from Syria, about Syria and the situation, and about Winch on Fire, I learned one thing. My movies are call for action. They can bring the change. They are technically AAA. Not AA meeting for Alcoholic Anonymous, but it's AAA in terms of advocacy, activism, and action. Call for action. They can change people's minds. They can cause action. I saw how, for example, Winch on Fire created revolution in Venezuela, in Nicaragua, created people, basically moved people to go on the streets against dictatorships, made people to go on the streets of Hong Kong, which was a conversation with Larry Nemmer, by the way. And it's something that caused people to stand against oppression. Same with Cries from Syria. I saw how people opened their hearts and minds and changed perception about Syrian refugees. So I realized that I want to find hope in this world. I wanted to find love in this world, light. I wanted to see something positive despite all the disasters that surrounding us. I wanted to find some kind of solutions to certain things, small gestures, actions that can try to show us what we can do. And you know what? And this I found in Pope Francis, because the common thread of all these things that you see in Francesco is the Pope, who trying to show us that we can bring the change, we as the people. And each of us, no matter where in society this person starts, he can be on the streets of Africa, he can be on the streets of United States. Each person can make a decision, change his mindset, and do something. You know what? Each person is a small drop of water. Together, we're an ocean. So together we can create a change.
I personally learned so much in watching your documentary and made certain decisions for myself. What was the decision you made for yourself in meeting the Pope and having these conversations and witnessing the work he's truly doing to benefit mankind?
You know that he didn't want it to go on the camera, because he said, Evgeny, I rather go on the end of the world, on the streets of the world. I will go to the camps, I will go somewhere far and try to help people. Then I will be in front of the camera talking and talking and talking. And he is truly a man of action, which is remarkable. And I think we can see it because it's not through his words this movie is telling the story. It's through his actions, through the words of the people whose hearts and minds he touched.
So what is it about you that the Pope could then trust to be in front of the camera and to really truly expose, remove that veil of mystery so that you could document him in this way?
I think on this journey, as much as I was in every step of this journey learning more about Jorge Maria Bergoglio or the Pope Francis, he was learning about me. He was learning that my investment is the investment into the lives of people. My investment into the basically comes out of my heart, and I'm trying to bring the change. Same way like he. So I guess since we are here
at the Fanvestor report, where we always talk about the best investment you ever made, what would that be for you?
I think my best investment into the storytelling that can change hearts and minds, that can create something positive, that I can look in the eyes of a child, that I will be becoming dad soon, and I will be proud that I can make something for this world that can be safe environment for my child, for your child, for his kids, for everybody. I think that's the most important for me, and I think that's the investment that I prefer to do.
Well, and for that investment, I am truly grateful on behalf of my future children and of yours. But take me back to your childhood. Is this always the dream that you had on your heart?
Yes, and I think we can see it in my work, specifically a lot in my work with Cries from Syria. And before Winch on Fire, I actually had a small documentary that I did that was called Divorce Journey Through the Kids' Eyes, because I'm a product of divorce. So, and it was interesting because for me it was always the desire to have a family, and also something that I wanted. Listen, you continuing your story by making a child and then raising this child and allowing this child to be something that you see in the future. So
You continue your story and your legacy. I'm
Sure.
curious, what is it that you want your legacy to be? As a father, as a filmmaker,
as a storyteller,
as a storyteller?
I think for me, when I see people's smiles and seeing the change, seeing that I can change something in this world, even it's not easy, but somebody's heart been changed, somebody's mind been changed, something positive happening in this world. I think that's what I enjoy to observe, and I think that's what I want to see as my legacy. That at the end of the day, I can proudly say to my child, that's something that I was dreamed, and that's something that happened. Saving lives in one way or another through my storytelling, bringing positivity to people in the camps, bringing light, spotlighting basically the different elements that are happening around us in the world.
Completely, but what you're saying and what you've done is so powerful, and you're so casual and humble about it. Take me back to the moment you realized you actually had made that difference in humanity, that you had saved lives. Do you remember that moment? The aha, my work has done this?
You know what? It's a great feeling. I will give you an example that happened recently this year. In March this year, the movie was launched on Discovery Plus, which I'm so grateful to work with Discovery, because they bring in right now Francesco to the entire world. And as an example, through Discovery, somebody reached me because he watched this on Discovery Plus, and he owns a Beverly Hills toy company. And he reached to me by sending me a letter and said, Evgeny, I can't see these eyes of these kids who've been separated from the families on the border. I just can't stop having this in my mind. I want to donate toys to every child in the detention facilities or in all these shelters. And in June, we already been on the Mexican border, US-Mexican border, and before we went here across the California. And up until today, it was distributed already over 10,000 toys.
Oh, my heart.
I think that's making me, you know what, when seeing these faces of the kids, that at least we can give them a piece of childhood that's been taken from them, something that they can hug at night and feel that they are still children, to bring some smile on their face, to make something for them that unfortunately history or government or the situation, let's say, took from them. That makes me not only proud, but also makes me feel good.
You've touched and changed their lives. Who would you say has been maybe the greatest mentor of your own life, your own journey as?
You know, it's interesting because I think on different steps of my life I had different people. I had Steven Spielberg and I had Randall Glazer, who were interesting mentors and great people in my career life as a director. But at the same time, I think for the last 3 years, Pope Francis was an amazing mentor with whom I am in touch. I am able to express myself openly to him and receive his suggestions, recommendations, his comments, his notes. And I think that's remarkable to have him as a mentor. I'm so proud and so, honored, I guess, to having him. In the same time, for me, he's like a brother and a father and a role model figure, because I'm learning a lot from him. And I think for the last 3 years, he became kind of a mentor figure for me on a quite often basis.
And what would you say to, fellow filmmakers, aspiring documentarians? I'm sure you get this question all of the time, but knowing what you know now, after all of the success you had, is there something you would have done differently or you would want to encourage them to do?
I think to every filmmakers who accomplished something, I suggest to continue. First of all, I suggest to remember that we've all been given a chance. Chance that one day somebody allowed us to come on a set, learn the craft, touch the camera, and make our own first movies. And I suggest to a lot of accomplished filmmakers in Hollywood to think about this and allow young fellows filmmakers to be a part of the industry, open more doors, be a mentor to these young people, because a lot of big people in this world, that's how I know Larry, because I wasn't around quite accomplished people in this industry. They allowed to enter this door of the Hollywood and be a part of this fascinating dream machine. And I think I suggesting personally from my situation where I am right now to allow more younger filmmakers to be a part of this thing. Same like I bring in more younger filmmakers into my sets. This specific project, actually, Francesco, was the first collaboration and co-production with UCLA Theatre, Film and Television School, where I took girls, alumnus, who just finished the school, into my set, allowing them to be a part of the real production. It's some kind of, it's also a women empowerment, because again, I'm trying to not try to go with the Hollywood kind of style, okay, women need to be in front. I think for my career, I had a fascinating luck. I had amazing people, amazing women who were supporting me. From Lisa Tabak, who was my publicist and right now top publicist of Netflix, and she was like the most amazing family and the publicist in my life, to Bunny Abanza, amazing advocate for the refugees, migrants, and Bunny is still working with me. Amazing Diane Warren, who wrote me songs for the movies like Cries from Syria and brought me Cher to work with amazing Cher, to many other fascinating women who've been a part of my life, actually, been a part of my career. And that's why I always trying to pay tribute and at the same time allow more women to join these forces. That's why I had a girls alumnus of actually UCLA to come and join. So that's why I say to every filmmaker, remember this. Allow younger generation to join you. You will learn a lot, and you will allow younger people also be a part of this machine.
The dream machine, as
The
you
dream
call
machine,
it.
yeah.
As the landscape of Hollywood continues to evolve at an ever rapid pace, especially now, what's next for you?
You know what? I think I'm trying still to kind of be promoting Francesco, because there is so many important issues that are in the movie, and I think specifically in pandemic, I need to bring attention to this movie. Pandemic is not finished, and I think it's not finished because we still not paying attention, serious attention to the science. Same like we're not paying attention seriously not paying attention to the science regarding climate change. A lot of people in the world not paying serious attention to the pandemic itself, to the vaccination in that case. Pope just recorded actually yesterday with another 6 cardinals from Latin America an ad advocating for vaccination, despite that US bishops, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, some of them against vaccination. And again, it starts from the previous administration. But again, I think people need to pay attention more to the science and not to the different speculations on the media. And I think that's why, for me, the entire situation with the movie is important, and I'm pushing this through the different aspects of the media to bring it more to the people, so people can open their eyes. For me, pandemic showed that we were locked in our kind of bubble, in our caves, we can say, in our apartments, and we were only paying attention to what's happening on next street, on our city, on our country, but we're not really paying attention to happening to the world. And I think in our days today, we need to open eyes widely and to realize that we are a part of one big, large family, and the decision and the actions of each individual are reflecting to the entire world. So each person needs to restart his thinking in different way in order to really bring a big change wave. And I think that's why, for me, Francesco is an essential element for today's world that I'm still trying to bring more and more to the audience.
And how can fans continue to support, contribute to the cause, and of course, make the impact that you're so desperately calling them to do?
I think it's not I desperately calling, I think the world desperately
The
calling.
world.
I think the fourth or fifth, whatever wave of pandemic just proving that, hey, we are not paying attention to reality of the world. We are still living in our kind of bubbles and not really thinking about what's happening around us. So that's why it's not me. I think the world desperately need this change. And some people still afraid of the change, some people have this fear of the change. But I think, again, like I said at the beginning of our interview, we either gonna be victims of our past or we can be heroes of our future. And I think that's kind of modus operandi that a lot of people need to put in their heads, changing their mindset. So the fans can easily go to francescofilm.com. Again, francescofilm.com, or it can be francescomovie.com, and or it can be francesco.movie or francesco.film, and they can find everything about the film, where to watch, how to really help to the causes, because we have the whole impact campaign there that we launched, and we can all step by step make it change, make a difference. And people who will watch the movie, one or another, they will find something that close to their hearts, because this movie has so many topics. As you saw, almost every today's headline of the world is there. Every issue of today's world is there.
Thank you again for your time. Thank you for investing with your heart. Fans, be sure to like, follow, and contribute to the Impact campaign for Francesco. Keep it here. We'll be back with more on the Fanvestor Report. Welcome back to the Fanvestor Report. Jon Bon Jovi has been doing much more than living on a prayer. This multi-hyphenate artist and entrepreneur has a reported net worth of $410 million. After Bon Jovi sold over 120 million albums worldwide, he made numerous million-dollar donations to Hurricane Katrina and the Superstorm relief. He's also an avid supporter of the Dream Foundation, Live Earth, and Stand Up to Cancer. He and his wife co-founded the Jon Bon Jovi Soul Foundation in 2006 to focus on the cycle of poverty, hunger, and homelessness through developing partnerships, creating programs, and providing grant funding to community benefit organizations. The first JBJ Soul Kitchen opened in October of 2011. And now we can raise a glass of rosé to all of this positive impact and investing with Bon Jovi's Hampton Water. And why not wear the matching Super GA sneakers while we're at it? Fans can pre-order these limited edition shoes via the Super GA site for $99 to be released this August 30th. Fans can now have their own immersive Van Gogh experience now in the City of Angels. The Fanvestor COO, Larry Namer, will share more on this week's episode of Everything Hollywood. Larry will be joined in studio by Dina Myers. Her experience in Broadway and classical arts was vital to her endeavor as she provided insight on live entertainment growth strategy. Lighthouse Immersive, who produced this exciting new form of content and one-of-a-kind experience, bridges multiple genres of art and entertainment for the fans. For more, be sure to listen to Everything Hollywood. MasterCard has big things planned this month in honor of Black Business Month. They teamed up with the one and only Jennifer Hudson to get things done. With Jennifer on board as the ambassador, they will spread and reinforce the impact of Black female entrepreneurs across the U.S. MasterCard will be hosting the long-awaited Aretha Franklin feature film, Respect, which will be followed by a performance by Jennifer herself. Fans, if you are a MasterCard holder, you are in luck. They are giving away special access to the red carpet event. Check it out on MasterCard's website to get in on it. And 100% of the funds are donated to the Fearless Fund, a venture capital fund built by women of color for women of color. Authentic Brands Group, known as ABG, has recently announced they will be purchasing Reebok from the previous footwear company Adidas. Jamie Salter, the founder of ABG, said they have had their sights set on Reebok for many years, and they're excited to finally bring this iconic brand into the fold. Reebok not only holds a special place in the minds and hearts of consumers around the world, but the brand also has expansive global distribution. Today, Reebok operates in 80 countries, with 70% of their business outside of the US and Canada. Reebok has a great track record of collabs with sports legends and influencers around the world. We'll be working on upcoming collections. MLB fans, it's time to find your Barstool. The Major League Baseball Association and Barstool Sports are in talks of a potential broadcasting partnership. Barstool has been changing the game for young sports fans, and MLB wants in on it. The MLB currently contracts with major broadcasters like ESPN, Fox, and Turner, but midweek games will only be featured on Barstool if the deal goes through. Barstool and MLB are keeping the details on the down low, but sources say the deal's chance of a home run are 50-50. Fans, thank you so much for streaming this week's episode of the Fanvestor Report. Be sure to like, follow, comment, subscribe, and invest with heart. Special thanks, of course, to our guest, Evgeny Afineevsky. We'll see you next time. Until then, invest with heart.
We're all fans of something or someone, investing our time and loyalty, but getting little in return. Well, it's about to change forever with Fanvestor, a platform that lets you get in on celebrity businesses early on, buy shares of their new startups, support a charity and new product drops, and share once-in-a-lifetime experiences with them.
What's up, it's Amari Stoudemire here, and we're launching Masa with Fanvestor to offer a limited edition, perks, products, and experience to my fans.
Here's how it works. Go to fanvestor.com. Choose an opportunity you want to get in on. Click here and there, and you're done. Go check your email for the investor's certificate. And don't forget to check back often for updates on your new business investment. It's official now. Celebrate your support with an experience. Go 10 rounds in the gym with Amare. Get a matching tattoo with super dope Q. Or get on FaceTime and hang out by the pool with DJ Khaled. After all, you're more than a fan now. You're a Fanvestor.